Hello and welcome into the SorareAndrews podcast brought to you by Sorare Data. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare. Joined as always by Andy Black, who goes by Black on Sorare. Today to talk about what happens if, when the Premier League is added on Sorare. Andy, there have been some rumors, or there's like news items that might be rumors, but they seem like it's kind of happening that the Sorare Premier League deal is done. And we didn't get it from an emoji from Nicholas, which is weird. I feel like that's how usually we get our news.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's going to happen. And I can't tell if people are going to be excited or not when it happens. What do you think?
Well, we did get an emoji. That's what the lion was for, right?
No, I don't think so. I think the lion was, what was the lion for? It was something so dumb.
People thought it was for LeBron, like, because he's got like a brand. What is it, King James?
Well, there was that, but there was also that Nicholas was just wearing like a shirt with a lion on it in the picture when they announced the NBA. I don't think that was for the Premier League. I'll put it that way.
You can think whatever you want to think. I think it was for the Premier League, all right? And I think the pin was for the Premier League too.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, it really doesn't.
It doesn't.
I think that people think that it's like I've got a little bit of a hot take on the whole Premier League situation.
Let's hear it.
I think that people think a lot of people think that like that will give them the validation that they need, that Sorare has like quote unquote made it. Like they may not be happy with certain aspects of the platform or whatever, but if they get the Premier League, then they know that it's like it's made it.
Mm-hmm.
And like my personal opinion is like, of course, it's great. We're trying to get the top 20 plus leagues. That's, the big missing league that they don't have right now.
Yeah.
So obviously that's helping them accomplish their goal. But like, as far as like bringing new users to the platform, the needle will move, but I don't think that it's going to be like, oh my God, Gary V boom, billion new users overnight. We're all gajillionaires. Our lives are changing. I just don't see that. I think it's just another step in the right direction.
I think that's all a very reasonable take.
Of course.
It wasn't
that's what we do here.
I thought you said it was going to be a hot take, or did you say?
Well, I think that I do think that there's like, I think that people feel like they need that validation of having the EPL.
So I completely agree with you on that. I think there's really something to be said about the number of people who probably are like, yeah, I'll try out Sorare. And they're like, all right, who are your favorite teams? And they're like, I like Man City, or I like Arsenal, or I like Southampton, or I like whoever. And they're like, that's great. Here are some Ghent cards and some from Kawasaki Frontale that you might like, and New York City FC. And you're like, I don't think these guys play in the Premier League. Why am I playing this game? And I do think that it's as simple as like, if you can play the free game with Premier League cards, I think you're more likely to buy cards after that. And that's why the Premier League is important.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah. I love how everyone's like, there are 10 million people who play FPL this year, and they got to tap into that. So there are definitely not 10 million people who like play that game as regularly as anybody who would play Sorare regularly.
I signed up to play in an FPL league last year with a big group of friends, and after the first week, I never set a lineup again.
So I did a competition against my son was it last season? I think it was last season, where we just like basically went head to head every week.
Okay.
And we did it again this year, and both of us have forgotten to set our teams like 6 weeks in a row. And there's just like, it's just not that fun of a game for me, at least. But I think that there is something about offering players in this game, meaning Sorare, that people have heard of. And people have heard of most of the players in the Premier League, or at least like the known players in the Premier League are known everywhere. And so getting people to sign up for the free game and allowing them to use players they've heard of, I think is just a gigantic step in itself. And
Sure.
yes, it'll be great if the 10 million people who play FPL are like, oh, I'll go play the free game on Sorare. And then a few of them will be like, oh, I'll buy some limiteds. And then there's the whale who's like, oh, I want the Mason Mount unique. And it just kind of goes from there. But I agree with you that there's not going to be this Gary V boomish move like when the Premier League is introduced. I think what's actually going to be funny is all the current users, particularly, I was going to say particularly in the UK, but I don't even think it really applies. But like the current users who are like, man, I can't wait for all the new people to come in. Mm-hmm. But it's actually all the current users who are buying the Premier League cards. Yeah. And they'll be like, no, it's fine, because these are the cards we've always wanted. But it happens in like baseball and basketball, and they're like, oh, just not growing. Need new users. But it's like, I think the existing ones, like we talk to a bunch of people in like different Discords, and there are a lot of people in those Discords who are like really into the Jupiler League or the Eredivisie.
Yeah.
But if the Premier League came on, they'd buy the Premier League cards. They'd be like, sweet, these are the cards that I've been waiting for. And so I think there's like this, there's going to be like an internal excitement that people buy those cards. And obviously there will be more people with like eyeballs on Sorare if they get the Premier League when they announce it. But yeah, I agree that I don't think there's going to be this mad rush. And I don't think that all of a sudden there'll be like this increase in card values just because like people are here. Like I could actually see like a bigger concentrate. Like I think the Premier League cards are going to be really overpriced just because they're Premier League cards. And they're going to be people who are like, oh yeah, I'll play this game, but I'm just going to buy the Premier League guys that I want. And people who want to be good at the game will branch out and buy from other leagues. But ultimately, I think it's just going to be like, they're all going to be overpriced. And when you win them, you're going to be like, sweet, but I'm going to sell this card because it's really not.
Right. Yeah. I don't know that I disagree with any of that. I think that that's all pretty fair. We kind of talked about it, I think last week before, something like that, where there's just not that many like smashers in the EPL that really like matrix breakers, because it's a very competitive league.
Sure.
And honestly, like whenever you have a player that transfers to the EPL, you're kind of like, ugh. It's usually the league you don't want your guys going to.
Totally.
Except for maybe Haaland. Right?
Yeah, he's the unicorn. But yeah, like ask everyone who had a Brendan Aronson card how thrilled they were when he went to Leeds.
Yeah.
Although I think he's actually been better there than he was in Salzburg.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I guess Tyler Adams.
Yeah. If he's ever can like go 5 games without getting hurt. Thank you to everyone who has joined us live. Somebody commented here that it's pretty late for European, although to be honest, it's an hour early this week because of the U.S.'s generosity of giving us an extra week of sunlight, even though I think the sun rises at like 9:30 now and sets at 9:36. That's how it feels already. But Jimmer decided to cut off his stream to come in, or at least leave a comment. So hi, Jimmer. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, that's how I would say that. Mike Baston, Levi's, Philly, Dilly, thank you guys for coming in. Mike Baston said, Black with a serious opinion. Have I entered another dimension? Now there's the hot take I came here to see. So Mike says the Premier League deal has a chance of making it more of a collectible product. Why? Just because like everybody wants a Brendan Aronson Leeds card? Bad example, maybe?
I'd argue the World Cup cards have a better chance at making it a collectible product. Even though those, so far, the hint is that they're all going to be like commons. But I think that there's something cool, collectible about collecting teams of all one nationality or whatever. But with that said, I mean, like if you're a Chelsea fan and you want to collect Chelsea cards, then there you go. I mean,
Yeah, that's
it's
fair.
the same argument either way.
Yeah. Levi's brings up people will come to buy Chelsea and Man City, then they'll see the prices, and finally they will play old, good Jupiler League bottom 4 teams. I mean, reasonably, I do think that's how the game is played, though. Like, there are plenty of people who, are PSG is kind of a bad example because those guys are so expensive, but pick any team that you really want. And it's like you want to collect those teams, that's fine, but you do have to like branch out a little bit from the big 5 leagues if you want to get better scores. Obviously, that doesn't apply for playing Champion Europe, but like, I don't know. It's obviously a huge plus. Like if I think, I don't know if you said it or if somebody mentioned in chat, but like you get sort of this instant credibility in what you're doing. If you're like, yeah, we're going to get the best leagues in the world on this platform.
Right.
And then people are like, well, do you have the Premier League? You're now going to be like, yes, we do.
Right.
2 of them, because we have the Russian one too. How about that? How about them apples?
Isn't there's more than there's just more than just 2 Premier Leagues, right? Isn't the Argentinian Premier League or something, or a super, maybe that's super?
Yeah, there are a few super leagues. There's the Portugal's the Primeira Liga, which I would guess translates to Premier League. Just a guess, though. I don't speak Portuguese. But yeah, I think when people say Premier League, they are assuming you're talking about the good old English Premier League there.
But, it's the Ukrainian Premier League.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Which is uncovered here, unfortunately. But it's there. You're right. So Mike's saying most people have a favorite Premier League team regardless of where they're from. That is definitely true.
Yeah.
And there's no doubting that it's like the most popular league in the world. There are probably, not probably, well, I was going to say there are probably more like Chelsea fans in like Chicago than there are in London. But that's only because the country is huge.
That and like I think the accessibility of the Premier League in the United States is probably the most accessible league there is. It comes on NBC. Like
what's wild, and every time I like talk to somebody in the UK about it, they like can't believe it. But like we can watch more Premier League than they can because like we don't have any TV blackouts, and we can literally tune on any game that we want at any time. Yeah. And for a while, it was easier to watch the Premier League than it was to watch Major League Soccer.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
and in fact, it still might be.
It's
because the MLS like will have games on both Fox and ESPN Plus, and like those are 2 very different networks, and you need different subscriptions typically to access those. You can watch the EPL on over there, over the air TV.
Yeah, I think there's also don't they have a Twitter game too? On like doesn't MLS have a weekly Twitter game?
They might.
Yeah, just another way to heaven forbid you want to watch TV or watch a game on your TV.
It's like watching the Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. It's just such a weird weird thing.
Yeah. So I like Mike saying more likely to open up Asian markets than their own leagues have done. I think that's actually a great point too. Like if you just look at where Premier League teams play preseason matches, like they don't go to places where it's not, nobody's going to go, So like when they do those like Asian tours, I totally agree. Like I imagine more people are more interested in the Premier League in Japan and Korea than they are in the J League and K League. Maybe I'm not giving them enough credit. But like the Premier League is big everywhere. So like, yes, the eyeballs will be there. How long do you think people give it before they're like, where's the bump? Like 6 hours?
Like, what do you mean by the bump? Like
when they announce, not even when they announce the Premier League, like when the cards are like on the market and you can buy the James Ward-Prowse card you've been dying to get. How long until people are like, it didn't work? We didn't get the bump.
I'll give it 48 hours.
Yeah. And what do you think is a reasonable time frame for that?
I mean, 48 hours is reasonable to like come to that realization that like, hey, one league at this point and like where we're at in the whole grand macro ecosystem of this entire thing, one league's probably not going to move the needle a ton. I mean,
This
if you
isn't just
look,
one league though. Like
it's
this is
it's
the league.
it's one big league. But like honestly, like with the current like supply of cards and just like I don't know how big we've gotten. I just I don't know. I think it takes a lot more to make like we were talking what a year ago, like one user coming in moved the secondary market. Like A Bottle Bore came in and was like buying up everything
Yeah.
and that really I don't think that can happen right now, really. I don't think one guy can come in and just like really move the needle.
Wasn't
And I'm not saying
Roxy after A Bottle Bore?
I don't know.
Like basically the way that I was looking at, like thinking of that, because I disagree with you. Like I think
Okay.
there you can if you can come in with what feels like an unlimited wallet, I think you can make a difference. And we saw that with A Bottle Bore. We saw it with Roxy. When Moon is doing it now a little bit, and I feel like there was another one.
When Moon though is doing it across, I mean AJ is doing it across 3 different sports
Sure,
because he's doing it, but I don't think that like I don't think that he himself is like really being that big of a market maker. Like I don't think that he's like
that's fair.
affecting uh maybe affecting the price of like a couple of super rare auctions or something, but like I don't think he's pumping the prices of the rare market or anything like that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I think that. Um, so do you think that introducing the Premier League will have like a bigger impact than like a single user who comes in, or do you think a single user would have a bigger impact?
Yeah, I guess that I mean it depends. Is it Karupu big of a user or is it, Bambi big? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like big difference there. Uh I don't know.
Yeah,
I would think I mean macro the league is much bigger. Like
sure.
uh longer term the league matters more.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Mike asked, "Is when they release it have an effect on the bump? Like, do you think if they release it right after the World Cup or during the World Cup, does that make any differences versus like February?
Sure.
And do you think it's a disaster? Like, is it better to release it in March or August?
Well, uh I don't know.
Like
The
the only
bad thing
reason I
about
ask,
yeah, go ahead.
obviously, because people like I can like see the outrage now of them releasing the full Premier League in March or April when there's like 6 weeks left of the season,
Yep.
and the I can just see my Twitter timeline, the money grab and how greedy they are. I can't believe they did this.
They're going to lose their bonus in 2 months.
Yeah. Oh my God. All about that.
Mhm.
And if that's the case, like, is that just a loud minority of people who just don't like fun? Or is it
Don't like fun.
reasonable that they should just wait until August? Because they did this, like, it's exactly what they did with the Celtic cards. Like they released those like super late and they lost their bonus like fairly early this season. But like,
Don't
I
buy
don't
the
know, I
cards
guess,
then. Just don't buy the cards. Don't buy
right.
them. Yeah.
I think that's the correct response. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have like an opinion on when they should. I mean like obviously like they get that deal done this week. I'm sure there's like so much legal bullshit they got to go through
Yeah.
and the Sorare lawyers are looking over things and the Premier Leagues and then we'll get back to you and then there's negotiations and that stuff is going to take a while to iron out probably.
What are we
But
getting?
yeah, maybe not. Maybe Nicholas is like signing everything right now and it's dropping this week. But I would think that all that takes time. And I don't think that it's like a soon thing. But what do I
So
know?
you think he tweeted a pen emoji before he signed everything?
Oh, crap. Um,
Like a
uh,
Sam Cassell big balls move to do, man. I don't know.
seems like something Nicholas would do.
Chani says the deal is done, but the deal is done is a lot different than the deal is agreed. I'll give you that much, Andy. But I do. So
Not only that, but I think that like even once it's done, then they got to like do the pictures and then they have
the
to
pictures are
crop
done.
them.
Like there are no extra pictures. Like they get the pictures that
No,
are on their web. Those are done.
right, but they got to crop them all, put them onto
Yeah.
cards. They got to
Make
do
sure we
all the
don't get
Sorare
the.
stuff. And then they got to send them all back to the Prem teams, and then they have to get their approval on them. Like, there's processes that they got to go through on all this crap.
Andy, I've seen some of the cards that hit the market. They don't have. There's none of that. Come on now.
Initially, there definitely is.
Maybe.
They definitely do. They've talked about that before, where they have to send like samples of what the cards look like. Now, what happens
That's
after?
right, to the teams, right?
Right. Now, what happens after the samples where they cut off Carlos Acevedo's head and just like obviously they did not send those samples over, but yeah.
Just like, yeah.
There we go.
That's my so rare card right there.
Just a forehead.
Just, yeah.
Lovely.
Sorry for those listening. That was a pretty good visual, not going to lie. I actually really want to ask this, but I feel like we shouldn't talk about it, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. What else do you think people are going to complain about when the Premier League is
announced? Probably how expensive everything is.
Right. Like, so the value of all of our cards go up and everyone's like, oh, now I can't buy anything.
Well, specifically how expensive the EPL cards will be. And I don't think that like that necessarily is going to make everything else go up. So I think people will complain that the Premier League cards are really expensive, as they should be.
Yeah. So I think there's an expectation with a lot of people that are like, yeah, when the Premier League comes and all the users come and all those 10 million people who play FPL come to play So Rare, like every card price is going to be, or every card value is going to go up. And I agree with you that there are going to be a lot of people who just want Premier League cards. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But it also means that like your Hans Van Aken cards are not getting any more valuable because those people don't want those cards unless he moves to West Ham, which he's not anymore. Would you have bought the Van Aken West Ham card if you went and they signed the Prem?
Probably.
You of all people, you would have to, yeah.
Disgustingly, I probably would have like tried to make a trade, like get rid of the old and bring in the new, but I don't know. It would have been like such a useless card too.
Yeah.
He would be like their Europa League or their Europa Conference League center mid. Maybe if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
If I'm lucky.
Yeah. So. Good point. Somebody in chat said earlier, asking about like basically how players, let's see, do you see Premier League teams as a place where many teams score well because of intensity of action, which is a great phrase actually, or rather the competitiveness of the Prem will cause those stacks to be inferior to Bayern, PSG, Celtic, and Ajax. So I don't think any stacks will be great. Like Liverpool goes off every so often. We see Mark win plenty with his Liverpool stacks, and that works out.
If you can guess the five players that play for City.
So Man City is another one. But like if you tried like Ederson, João Cancelo, De Bruyne, Haaland, and I mean, you could literally play anybody else at that point, it feels like, and win. Then yeah, but you just got to make sure that they all play at the same time. But I think that's it. Like
I think KDB is a good shot of a card that like has a super low supply from the national cards, like that'll be a card that is very desirable.
For sure. Yeah. That's a weird one right now where there are more limiteds than rares.
Yeah, there's just very few cards.
Yeah. It's like they started selling them and then something happened and they were like, whoop, gotta stop that.
Wasn't it that they got eliminated from what was that? The Euros? Yeah, they were selling them during Euros, and I think they got eliminated. And they were like, "Oh, we can't sell them anymore."
Yeah, that seems partially absurd. I don't know what the licensing agreements say, but
yeah,
I'll say that the national team cards, the whole thing feels like a disaster to me. Like maybe I'm misremembering or I misunderstood at the time, but it was my understanding that like every international break, they were going to sell those cards.
Yeah.
And they sold them for one international break and nothing since.
Yeah, maybe it was like just a Euros deal. Like they had the license during the Euros, and I don't know. Speculation.
Yeah, I don't have a clue. I just know that we never got more of them. I will say it felt like they should have done more with the cards of players who are not already on the platform. Like De Bruyne is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That I understand if they couldn't do a whole lot of, like I have a Jonas Hoffman Germany card. And they obviously have a deal with Borussia Mönchengladbach that they have to sell a certain number of cards of Jonas Hoffman, and presumably they don't get any revenue from the Germany ones. So I get that. But if there's no Man City deal, like let's pump out these De Bruynes.
Yeah. Yeah, to like finish Levi's point, I think that like there's not a lot of stacks that are gonna crush. Like there's just not gonna be like even if you had like a Arsenal stack, like they're doing really well in league play right now, but I don't know that like you run that out week to week, you're just gonna just totally smash everyone.
Probably not.
And then like my other kind of opinion of EPL is like the physicality and like overall, I guess, competitiveness of that league. There's just a lot of injuries and I don't know. That's one thing that I always worry about. It's a physical league.
Yeah. I'm not sure they're like that much different than every other league. I could be wrong though.
Maybe not.
Mike Baston brought this up that the solitary Kai Havertz limited card was a reward.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Like 16 super rares in one limited is really funny. Although I guess he did have the
Leverkusen cards.
I guess the Leverkusen ones were before,
and there were no limiteds in. Right. They did sell. They sold a lot of his Germany cards though.
Nice. Yeah. Look at these whales here. Roxy, a Bottleborn, you.
Yeah. 3 ETH down the drain.
Oh, there's Mark. See?
2.9 ETH down the drain.
In fairness, when you bought that, it was probably $30, right?
No.
I'm not going to even think about it. I'll save you the embarrassment.
Roxy Sea Dog, 27 ETH down the drain.
That's a tough one.
I mean, at least you can use them in unique specialist, right?
Sure.
Although he just popped up above 40
I was going to
L15.
say, now he's useless. It's still underdog, I guess.
Yeah.
Jimmer's taking offense to all of this conversation. But yeah, there's that one right there. Never used.
Maybe he'll go back to Germany. And we can rejoice.
Man. That's a tough one.
Who hit? Zlatan has that card.
Yeah. This card and the Aaron Judge Unique. What would you rather have?
Huh? You serious?
Zlatan has won the Aaron Judge Unique. That's all.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I'll take the Judge.
But this is the only Kai Havertz. There are plenty limited. There's plenty of. Are there multiple? Yeah, there are multiple uniques. That's even better.
Yeah. I think Mark had maybe one of the uniques.
Sure does.
Yeah.
Why do you think he? Oh, So they use the same picture for different year cards.
Wait, those aren't different year cards.
Yeah, this is 2021, 21, 22, and this is 2020, 21.
How's that possible?
Well, like time goes by.
No, because they probably accidentally rewarded the 21, 22.
Right.
Okay.
Although,
yeah, see if any of the rares are 21, 22.
Oh yeah, so it's the only one.
It was just a complete mistake, I guess.
Yeah.
You broke it.
I broke it. That's it. Yeah, there you go. Only one. I don't know. Looks pretty collectible if you're a big Kai Havertz guy.
Yeah.
So I think we talked about previously how Reece James is a bit of a game breaker, but no one else really seems to be that great.
I mean, I think everybody would love to have Christian, even though he doesn't play or starts at left back.
Everyone, or all of us here?
All of us Americans, I guess. But yeah, last year a defensive Chelsea stack would have been really nice.
Yeah.
Mendy kept a lot of clean sheets. Thiago is not great, but he's so good on the Matrix. He gets a lot of random clearance off the lines. Look, 318, two of them. Look, another one. He gets so many clearance off the lines, and I don't know why that is, but he just ends up. It feels like getting a lot of them.
There's another one. That's wild.
Yeah.
7 of them in the last year.
Yeah.
Surely that's the most.
His scores are outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't feel like he's that great. And then they had Rudiger last year, who was excellent on the Matrix, really, and this year he's rotating like crazy at Real.
He get new? Oh, he did. He got new Madrid cards. But yeah, he was good for them.
Let's look at a team like Man United. I'd be curious how. Yeah, someone like Rashford scores. Someone like Harry Maguire scores.
Pretty easy to do that. Let's see. Oh boy. There's Harry. Doesn't seem great. No. Although I think he got benched. Yeah.
Looks like even when he was playing, not great.
No. But you imagine that these cards go for a lot. Like there are a lot of people who like Manchester United.
Right. Yeah. What's the ideal United stack?
It's De Gea, Dalot,
yeah.
Sancho, I guess.
Bruno.
Maybe Bruno. I mean, he hasn't. Oh, I guess he's been banging recently.
I just feel like if that stack's, I think if that stack's going to go off, then you need Bruno.
Yeah, I think you're right. I know it doesn't include Cristiano Ronaldo. I'll tell you that much.
We didn't get a forward in there, did we?
No, it'd have to be either. I assume Rashford. I bet. What do they have Sancho as?
It's got to be a midfielder.
Forward.
Okay. I didn't feel like he played enough, but I guess he has been playing.
He's just a winger. That's weird what they're doing with him too. Oh yeah, Misaki said Casemiro. Yeah. So De Gea, Dalot, Casemiro, Bruno. I just don't think it's a team you need to full stack.
Right. That's fair.
But again,
I think it is fun to. It is fun to look through the teams and just be like, what would your stack be for that team?
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal would be another fun one to look at, just since they're the top team in the league right now.
If we think that they're coming.
So you're right. They're the weird one that I guess Ultimate Champions signed with them, and there's a chance that I highly doubt there's some exclusive agreement where Ultimate Champions has them. But if they do, then whatever.
Yeah, I just don't picture the Premier League or any of its member clubs signing something that prohibits them from just pimping themselves out everywhere.
Yeah. Especially with like a weird startup that's like the off-brand version of something else that is doing much better. I mean,
boy, that's a shots fired, man.
It's not really shots fired. It's just the truth. It's a, I'll call it a ripoff of Sorare. They took basically the same game and like made the same looking cards with some different colors, and they changed the names of the scarcities to different things.
I think they kept unique.
Did they? Okay.
Didn't two people from Sorare start Ultimate Champions? I thought there was some sort of connection there. No?
No idea.
I don't know.
That would not be shocking though.
Yeah. No, I think it's Ramsdale, Saliba, Odegaard, I guess, maybe. Definitely Saka. Wonder if Saka would be a forward.
I would do a Gabriel stack. I would get all the Gabriels.
Is all of them? Yeah, Saka's a midfielder. So definitely Saka. And Xhaka's been really good this season.
Yeah, as long as you can avoid the red cards.
He's like, he doesn't get them anymore.
No.
Yeah, he's been like...
He's been a good boy.
Yeah. They were talking about him on the latest rank.
On the Sorare Matrix,
Yeah. Harrison Clark said to check out Cancelo. Yeah, like this guy might be the best player in the game. If you, as crazy as it sounds, like if you're like, oh, Man City, who do you get? Like it's actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Good call, Harrison.
That last like 10 is not great, but good God, I don't know, whatever those other 50 games are. That's incredible.
Well, he had an own goal, but like he had played 45 minutes with a yellow card and still got 56. That's crazy.
Now, was he this good before they changed the matrix, or
not a clue? Does it even matter anymore?
No. That's why you guys removed the old scores, new scores, because it doesn't matter what the old scores were.
Nope. Someone brought up Tottenham. This mouth breather's at the top. I mean, I think everybody would want Son.
It'd be probably the funnest card to own on this team, even though he's got a broken face right now.
Just crushing that, the broken face. I really hope he plays in the World Cup. I think he's actually breaking the site.
Yeah, he can put a mask on.
Full head.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Get him some headgear.
Yeah, looks like he's breaking the site. That's how good he is. Good old Harold. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what you expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, Son and Kane together.
Did Son's come up?
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I think let's put them together. Harrison was saying they'd be a good stack. Let's see. Actually, don't even correlate that much, which is kind of interesting. I know last season they had just like a ton of decisives together. Yeah, more of they were much closer last year.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
See, that's like the type of like fun thing that like a new league like EPL kind of does, though, to like you bring that into Champion Europe and you look at like the current things that win. You have like your PSG stacks, you have your Bayern stacks. Like those are kind of like the usual suspects.
Yeah.
But you bring a whole league in like this, and like Tottenham's not even like a, what are they, top 5 right now or top 6 team?
I don't know where they are.
I don't know that like they're good enough to finish there. Maybe they are, but like Okay, I'm wrong. They're top 3, but like even they have players that are just gonna like affect champion Europe. And
Yeah.
like you take the 3rd team in Bundesliga, they're not really moving the needle. And same with France. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on that. There are some good forwards and strikers in France that probably are on 3rd or 4th teams. Yeah, Newcastle stacks. Love it.
Obviously, that's just Miguel Almiron.
I mean, I'm buying him. I should have bought Trippier after everybody gave me crap on the last podcast. He banged out 100.
Yeah, he did.
Immediately.
He's got a ton of, like, an absurd number of hundreds for anyone, let alone a defender.
They'd be a super fun team, though.
My God, else 15 of 75.
The way I convinced myself not to buy him, I was like, he just scored, 73, 78, 67, 95, 98. I am literally buying the top. And now he scores a 100.
Yeah.
Now I would be buying the top.
That's
right?
the top. I will guarantee you that is the top.
What is his floor right now?
So I looked at this the other day. I'm fairly certain his floor was like 0.4 2 weeks ago.
And I think might have been a little longer than that, right?
So his floor right now is 0.96. So 2 weeks ago would have been like the 21st-ish. That sound about right? Of October? 0.63. All right. So 0.53 on the 19th. And now last sale is 0.93.
And you know what? He's still probably worth it. As long as he's healthy, and he's still probably worth it.
Yeah. 0.45 a month ago. And he actually went down after that. Yeah, I mean, our boy Trippin' B can't stop talking about him. So I think we blew it. But you have a Bruno.
2 Brunos.
Ooh, look at you.
Mm-hmm. I think he's like the funnest player to watch right now, but I also think that he's like so reckless and like so wild. He's probably, and like, I don't know. I have really bad feeling that he's going to get hurt, but God, why do I say things like that in public, like on
Trippier?
the air? No, Bruno.
Oh, Bruno. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All Trippier has to do is whip balls into the box and find heads to hit.
Yep. So, yeah, it looks like these 3. Almiron, Bruno, and Trippier. Throw in like Botman and
whoever their goalie is.
Nick Pope from Burnley. What's actually really funny, I was talking to Sean about this yesterday or today, that because of Sorare, I pay less attention to the Premier League than I ever have.
Yeah, which that's an awesome talking point, because I think I agree 100% with you, except in the tiny instances when I have an EPL player in an important spot. Like I've been watching a lot of Newcastle games because I usually put Bruno in a good lineup.
Yeah.
But like Chelsea was kind of my like EPL team because like Mike said, we all got an EPL team. They were my EPL team. I like don't watch them play very much. Granted, can be hard to watch those games sometimes. Hard on the eyes. Just their style of play.
Sure.
And just like it, like I feel like they play a lot when I'm like doing stuff.
Well, you catch them more during the week. Like you probably watch more Conference League West Ham than you did Saturday West Ham, right?
No, because they sit their guys. They sit all my guys.
Oh, right. You're right.
So Fabianski doesn't play. Like if you looked at their lineup today, nobody played. Because they had the table locked up or whatever.
Sure.
But like even the Chelsea game that was on yesterday, I just turned on the Galazzo show because I had a bunch of other guys going, and I didn't really care what the Chelsea result was. I wanted to see my guys.
Yeah, and I mean, I think most of us do that who are like really into Sorare. Like Mike Basson said here, I watch more games from abroad than I do the Premier League. Why not? Like, to be honest, a lot of Premier League games are just dreadful. Like the way that we can watch soccer now, like we could probably watch a top 3 team from any league, any weekend day that we wanted to. So like, I don't need to start like slumming Brighton versus whoever.
Yeah,
Watford.
that's fair.
They're not even in anymore. Whoever's still in the Prem, 2 of those teams. Yeah. But hey, if anybody's really into the Prem, wants to come play Sorare, let's do it. Let's rock.
Yeah. Levi's said, I just started watching J1 a year ago, MLS, and just got NBA season pass. Those are all fun, like super fun things. Like the little bit I've watched from J League is fun. MLS is fun. Like quality might not be there, but it is fun.
I think that's a great way to put it. That I think people look down on MLS. I know they do, but it's fun. Like anything goes, and it's just pure shenanigans. It's great. It's great. I'm getting some slack for dissing on Brighton, so I apologize. Sort of. I mean, they're fine.
Look at that. They're sitting 8th in the table. That's not bad.
They are. With some Sorare people. Or maybe it's just Trossard. I don't even know.
But Fulham is 7th right now? How is that possible?
They are. 22 goals allowed, too. That's pretty impressive in 13 games. And still sits 7th. This is it. I don't pay attention. You know what? You know who's playing really well for Fulham? I'm going to steal this. You know who's been great for Fulham? Willian.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Tim Ream at center back.
He apparently is also doing really well.
Yeah.
That dude's going to find his way into a starting lineup in the World Cup. I just know it.
Honestly, we need a center back, and we have a guy playing in the Premier League well, and he's like not even invited to camp.
Yeah, like as we're saying, like you're playing well. Like 3 teams have given up more goals than Fulham this year.
Okay, fair.
Is it even 3? 1, 2. Oh, it is 3. Yeah. Bournemouth, Leicester, and Nottingham Forest.
But they're in 7th place.
But they're 7th. They are. Ahead of Liverpool. How about that? How about them apples? Yono Sorare says, from a Sorare perspective, one of my favorite phrases that I've talked to Quinny about, adding the Premier League is effectively a minimal impact at best, and a bit of the value is from the perception Sorare made it, and it might be able to gain more users. Like anything they do is to gain more users. Like that's the point of everything they do. But I don't think that there's a league they can add that has the user upside that the Premier League does, right? I mean, even if they were starting from scratch, like the league you want is the Premier League because that's the league that like more people follow than any other league in the world. So just from that perspective, like there's no reason you're not adding them to like get more utility in the game or to, have the PSG stacks and Ajax stacks not be as powerful. It's like you just want them because more people follow those leagues than anything else. And those are the people who are going to come play.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bournemouth has a negative 16 goal differential in our 14th. What a weird league. The Prem. Maybe I should start watching again.
Man, negative 16.
Minus 16? Is that what I meant? Yeah.
Yeah.
12 scored, 28 allowed.
Nottingham. Wow.
Yeah, not so great.
And then you have Leicester down in 18th, and they've got a goal differential of -4. How does that work?
Yeah, they're in trouble. They were really good when I used to pay attention. Not anymore.
Yeah. Maybe you should start paying attention again.
Maybe, for the sake of Leicester, at least.
Yeah.
So there were 2 comments here. Where was I? There we go. Phil Huxley said, pretty sure in terms of average card price on auction, the Premier League will be the highest. Totally agree. I think we're going to see some really dumb... The one-ofs are going to be really stupid. like really, really stupid. But it's not our money. So,
which also means like the 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s will be silly as well, because usually it's like a curve, not an elevator.
Sanity comes around the 100 mark for limiteds or the 10 mark for rares.
Yeah.
And then where was this? 98 Bambo says, well, anytime I tell my friends about it, it's quote, nice. So the prem is on, right? And it's hard to make English fans want to play with foreign leagues.
Yeah, I get it.
Mm-hmm. I don't even think it's, I don't think that's like an English fan's problem either. Like there are plenty of people here in the US where they're like, oh, they don't have the prem. Like I'm good. Because it's just, I mean, like we have access to a lot of leagues, but it's not as easy as the Premier League. I'll put it that way. Like we can go watch La Liga if we want, but you got to know. Actually, I think they're on ESPN now. That was a bad example.
I think they're on ESPN Plus, but a good example is Serie A.
No, Serie A is on ESPN, aren't they?
Or yeah, but it's also ESPN. It's also like on Paramount Plus, I think.
Oh,
or maybe it's not on ESPN Plus anymore and just on Paramount. There's something weird there.
Ligue 1 is on beIN Sport, and that's the hardest one.
Yeah.
Like if you want to watch PSG regularly, you better buy that sports package on your cable from your cable company.
Yep.
Which I do. Not for PSG.
It's so you can watch what? Stade, Reims, or Rennes, or which one? Which one is it?
Wherever Juni Ito is now?
Yeah.
No, it comes because I get NFL Red Zone. And it's a whole sports package. I get a bunch of like, it's not Univision. Maybe it is Univision. Whoever.
So you're still an NFL guy?
I'm like a Red Zone. I buy Red Zone. My son likes to watch Red Zone more than like the Jets. I actually don't even get the Jets.
So does your son play season-long fantasy?
He does.
Okay.
Yeah. He drafted my wife's team for work.
Okay.
And they like have that team together. But I haven't played fantasy football in years, like season-long fantasy football.
Yeah. This year's my first year out of it.
How much better do you feel?
It's so good. So good.
Yeah. So Bambo came back. Well, I know for sure my dad, as a Manchester City fan for 40 years, he'd have the whole team, but doesn't care about anything else. I'm sure there's thousands that would just buy their team. Maybe. It would be really funny to see all these cards bought up and just never used in SO5.
Yeah, I don't know about I don't know how many would do that, but I know some people would for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I did that with Cardinals in baseball, and I mean, maybe that's not the same, or maybe it is. I don't know, but like I wanted to compete in baseball. I'm buying my team. I don't really care about rooting for any other players or teams or anything. And I think next year when St. Louis City is on Sorare, I will definitely be running at least one St. Louis City stack, and will probably be bad. And you know what? That's okay. I run a lot of bad stacks, a lot of them.
Camilo Vargas has entered the chat.
Along with Brian Lozano.
Yeah. Hey, might be teammates soon, actually. Just oh man. It reminds me of our boy Trip and B playing the Charlotte stacks. Although I think he's won a few with those, but
for sure.
Yeah, I think somebody brought it up earlier in the chat, like if we thought that the introduction of the Premier League would actually like bring in some collectability. And I don't see somebody joining Sorare for the collectibles if like the way that you find out about it is through the fantasy game. Like I just don't see them marketing themselves as like a collectible platform. And so it's tough for me to think that like if the pitch is like, hey, play your favorite players in fantasy football, and then you're like, I'll just collect. Yeah. Thanks though. So I don't know. I just don't see that happening. And I also just don't see anyone going from let me collect Brentford to let me collect Bruges, and then let me collect and like just constantly adding to a literal collection, just because. But
yeah, I don't know.
Mike Baston says your new nickname should be Bad Stack Black.
I can't argue with
that. Not bad.
Somebody was asking, how competitive will EPL players be in Champion Europe? Yeah, they'll be competitive. They can win.
Sure.
Any of them can win. You can win with a West Ham stack. So, you can win with I don't know if you can win with a Wolf stack.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, but I mean, you stack really any of the top 10 teams, they're going to have a week where they pop off. And then, sure. I mean, there's also like redeeming players on all of those teams. So guys that you can use in probably not only Champion Europe, but U23 as well. Yeah. I mean, you look at Arsenal, that whole team is U23, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Yeah, I think it's all positive. And I don't know what the reaction is from
now. Now, would you rather have a Bayern or PSG stack or any of the EPL stacks?
I think Man City is like the only one you really want.
Yeah.
Maybe Liverpool. I don't know. Like Mark's just had so much success with the Liverpool stack that like I don't know if it's great because they're great or they're just great because like I mean, we have the other big teams. So obviously it shows you just need like one game for them to dominate and you win everything. So that's what he does.
Well, it just so happened that last year that one game happened over and over and over again.
Felt that way. Yeah. Yeah, like I don't think you're like losing with a Bayern stack. Unless you totally mess up the guys that you got.
Wait, what do you mean? You don't think you're losing?
Like I think you have plenty of success with a Bayern stack anyway. So it's not like introducing a Man City means like you're not winning as much anymore.
Right.
So
it might cut into your success a little bit. I'd argue.
Yeah, I agree that it cuts into the success. It just I don't think it becomes like a failure. Like you're now like
you're still winning.
You're just not winning as much, or to the you're not just like sweeping stars every week. So yeah. But that Man City, Ederson, Cancelo, De Bruyne, Haaland, and anyone else. Rodri.
Yeah, until they concede, and then or Pep Roulette.
Yeah, even then. I mean, obviously you want a Julian Alvarez just in case.
He was pretty nice this week, wasn't he?
Sure was.
I think
with a good old threshold.
I got top 5 in specialist with him.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Exciting. I had a
let's see what you got.
I had a guy that only came on and played like 8 minutes, and he kind of killed my chances at winning.
Oh. I thought you were going to say like, and he banged a hat trick.
No.
Is this midweek?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously you have lineups.
Look at that. Sven with 100.
That's
Spider-Man with a 99. Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild.
And look, I still got Tapsoba.
I was going to say, wait a minute. You told me you sold Tapsoba.
I broke the curse by selling the super rare, and now his rare card is doing just fine.
Yeah. How about that? How about that? And an actual Ethan Horvath clean sheet.
I know.
Wow.
Sometimes everything comes together.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
How close were you?
I just needed somebody better than Majinho, whoever Majinho is.
Who was the other sub? Oh, Alvarez was like he was a sub.
What's crazy is Horvath was like 41. Majinho was like.
I remember 40. You cursing Horvath for being 41.
Yeah, it was like the whole lineup. I felt like, and nobody was over 60. I don't think Sven was over 60. It was just like they all had pretty good matchups, and it was a lineup that kind of made sense.
Yeah, love it.
except for Majinho, apparently.
Who does he even play for?
I don't know, but I'm selling him. If anybody wants him, message me on Discord. I will sell him 25 to 30% below the floor, whatever Majinho's floor is. He's gone. He's dead to me.
I wonder what that floor is.
I don't know that I would want Majinho, but if anybody is like dying to have Majinho, let me know. Reach out.
I think I would say his name was Meguinho.
Sure. Meguinho.
This is how I used Alvarez.
Got the job done. Well, if Coates doesn't...
yeah, if Coates doesn't...
you're looking at least a tier 3.
Yep. The good news is I have a Coates here and... Oh, did I not play him? Oh, and here. There he is.
Ooh, the whole rainbow, huh?
The dude just ruined everything. I found the end of the rainbow and there was nothing there.
Man.
But we bounce back next week. Bambo said the floor on Meguinho is $15.
All right, he's for sale for $9.99.
That's the floor.
First offer I get, he's gone.
That's the floor. But like, what was actually the last sale? It was $16 a week ago. Our friend El Cid got rid of one. Oh, got rid.
See, I wish El Cid would have reached out and been like, "This Meguinho guy, you gotta get him out."
Watch out, Pavel's got one. You're gonna post yours for
he's got
$9.99 and he's gonna go to $9.98. Look at how many are on the market.
It's crazy.
Who is this guy?
He played in, what is that, J League?
Yeah, Yokohama FC.
I don't even think he was good there.
Why did you play him? Just this midweek specialist. This is just what you had.
I the only other guy I had, because I did look at this. Let me find my lineup real quick. Because I remember specifically I had one other player that would have fit there. And the guy ended up scoring like 60 points or something.
Oh, no.
I know. It was Odilon Cosano. So he's a wingback for Leverkusen.
Oh, yeah.
His scores have been just pitiful.
Oh, really?
I mean, they don't keep clean sheets, and like he runs like negative AA on that team. And he was good when he was like when he played center back, but his scores have just been rough. Or maybe he's playing outside center back. Like are they 3 in the back at Leverkusen? It's Tapsoba, and Odilon.
Yeah, maybe. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. If I would have played him, I still don't think that I win. Maybe 58, and the other guy was 28, 30 more points. I think I might have.
I think just based on how many starts he has, you probably should have gone with this guy. I mean, he scored more points, so obviously you should have just gone with him.
Right. But they played Bruges. It was I guess the Bruges game too was like, that's his old team, so it was like, one of those. I don't know. Maybe
revenge game, man. Come on.
Maybe he played good in the revenge game.
Yeah. Bad process, Black. Not gonna lie.
I gotta fix this.
Yeah. Yeah. So now that we've completely gone off the rails in terms of the Premier League, do you have anything else about the Prem before we go?
Do you own any players from the Prem?
Julian Alvarez.
Yeah.
And that might be it, to be honest. I don't own a lot of Champion Europe players. So yeah, it could be literally just Alvarez. Oh, Lukonga. Who I bought before he moved.
Brendan Aronson.
There's Brendan Aronson, Jersey Mint. But I also got that before he moved. And Luis Diaz. I have him.
Right.
Really tried to sell him before he got hurt, and that didn't work. And that's it. Those are the guys.
That's kind of fun that there's more out there than you really think. Like,
yeah, there are.
It's I would like to know, like, I'm sure the percentage is like really low. It's like 5 or 10% of those players are already on the platform, but I think a lot of the good ones, or a decent number of the good ones, are already floating around there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you just go to the player rankings, but yeah, Trippier, De Bruyne, Bruno, Haaland, obviously all of Liverpool, a lot of West Ham still. Oh yeah, Antony. Yeah, I mean, there's a decent amount. Yeah, not enough, but they
and
got.
Bocani plays in the Prem.
Yeah, that
The hell is
seems
that?
like it can't possibly be right. Oh yeah, we'll have to adjust that. Somehow Kuwait SC made it into the Prem.
Well, now we know the Kuwait Premier League is a Premier League.
I don't even want to click through and find out anymore. That's a rabbit hole I don't need to go down today. That's a good spot though on Bocani there.
I got to fix those filters.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, he plays in the Premier League. He plays in a Premier League.
One of the Premier Leagues, yes.
One of them. But not the one we're actually trying to. This reminds me of like how when we saw, like when Qatar played in the Gold Cup. And you're like,
yeah,
you sure about that one?
Right. Last thing, the Global Cup.
Yes.
We got a big announcement in a week.
We do.
What are your thoughts?
I think it's just going to be a game that they have for the Global Cup.
Do you think that we'll get like other scarcities, or is it only going to be common scarcity, this stuff?
I would guess. You mean like national team cards or like new cards of some people?
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? I would guess that we just have common cards. Like I think it's really difficult to like I don't think there was any way that they were going to actually sign like a licensing deal with every federation there that they could get away with it. But I feel like common cards, it's a little easier because you're not actually like selling anything. I don't know what like the IP stuff is for that, but my assumption is that the push is like free to play and another new way to get everyone to play Sorare.
They'll probably give like tickets away to the Global Cup finals. If you won that, would you go?
Yeah, so I was talking to someone about that recently. I think it was Chani. Like, it's just not a feasible reward.
Yeah.
Like, my guess is,
let me drop everything I'm doing in my life.
or just like, is Sorare really going to pay for like my flight and my hotel there as well? And like,
probably
maybe, but like, no, they're not going to do that. And so like, I don't see that happening. Would you drop everything to go?
I don't know. When is the final? It's like early December. Is that right? December 18th. So a week before Christmas. Am I going to be able to just bug out?
Is that really is that really it though? Like, is that that's what's holding you back? Like, if you won tickets to the World Cup final, you don't think it'd be like, hey, I'm going?
Well, like the fact that it's in Qatar means that it's like, I don't know, it's in a place that I'm would be very uncomfortable traveling to. Just because I've never been anywhere in the Middle East. I haven't even been to Europe. So it'd be somewhere odd. A week before Christmas. I imagine I can't bring my whole family. Yeah, I don't know. Just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't think it's a realistic prize that they could give away. That's all. Like, I think it would be really cool, but the number of people who could win that and like take advantage of it, I think, is really small.
Yeah,
so sounds like a fun contest that's supposed to like get lots and lots of people interested. if that's the top prize, it's kind of like, how hard are you going to try to win something that like realistically you can't?
It's like a needle in the haystack sort of thing.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Because I don't know, any of these free to play things, there's going to be like so many bots and stuff that just like spam entries.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It would be cool. I'm sure you could sell it.
Global Cup.
I'm sure we'll talk about the Global Cup on a show. I don't know if anyone even cares what we think about the Global Cup.
Well, the nice thing is the announcement will be next week, right?
It's a week from today. So yes, we have our topic for next week.
We'll be talking about the Global Cup.
Global Cup 2022 reaction.
Own your world.
Were you the one saying you thought that was really dumb?
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
But also, you can't. Can you own your globe? Own your globe.
I own a globe. It's down. I have it. Is it in here? Oh, no, it's not in here. But I have a globe. Maybe I'll bring it next week.
There we go.
Yeah. I'll bring props for our Global Cup competition, our Global Cup discussion. So, yeah. All right. Well, we've officially lost it. So thank you to everybody who has joined us live. Always appreciate it when you guys chat during our conversation, because it helps us kind of see things that we don't think of ourselves. So thank you for that. If you guys could hit the like button on the video, that's always really helpful. If you're listening to the audio version, if you could please rate and review it wherever you listen. Let's see. I'll be back next week with Sean for the Sorare Data Strategy Show on Monday. Then we've got an NBA show sometime next week as well. And then next Thursday, Andy and I will be back for the super terrific Super Cup 2022 reaction or preview, whatever it is. So thank you to everyone for joining us, and we'll talk to you next week.